Hello all, I am Nritya Prashnotara. On the occasion of World Dance Day, I will be asking a question. Which is the most important thing that we learn in dance, which we may not learn in our academics here?
ಹಾಯ್ ಅನನ್ಯ, ನಾನು ವಿದುಷಿ ಪದ್ಮಿನಿ ಅಚ್ಚಿ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ತುಂಬ ಡೀಪ್ ಆಗಿರೋಂತಹ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ನೀನು ಇನ್ನೂ 8 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸೊ ನಿನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇದು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. 2 ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಟೆಂಪಲ್ಲು. ನೀನು ಟೆಂಪಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀಯಾ, ಹೋದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ? ಚಪ್ಪಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆನೇ ಬಿಡ್ತೀಯಾ, ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದನೇ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀಯ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ನ, ಹೌದಾ? ಆದರೆ ಅದೇ ನೀನು ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಶೂಸ್ ಬಿಚ್ಚಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗಿನ ಕಾಲದ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಳುಗಳದ್ದು ಟ್ರೆಂಡು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಾಗ ಹಾಯ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಹಲೋ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಹೀಗೆ ವಿಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಆದರೆ ಅದೇ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಾಗ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಹಿರಿಯರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಾಗ, ಅಥವಾ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಶಸ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ನಮಸ್ಕಾರನ ಅಂತ, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ಈ 2 ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ 2 ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನು ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟನೋ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬೋದು? ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸು ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಥರ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಚಪ್ಪಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ದೇವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋ ಮೊದಲು ಭೂಪ್ರಣಾಮ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಗುರು ಪ್ರಣಾಮ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ಆದರೆ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಈಗಿನ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಯೋಂಥ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಅಂಶ ಯಾವುದು ಹೇಳು? ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ, ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಡೀಪ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಹೋಗೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮೇಜರಾಗಿ ಕಲಿಯುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ನ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದರೆ, ಫೈನಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳುಗಳು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ಗಳಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿತಾ ಇರೋಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳುಗಳು ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿಯೋದು ಮತ್ತು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸಿನ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಪುಟ್ಟ? ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅನನ್ಯ. ಬಾಯ್.
Namaste, my name is Sandy. I am learning dance from past 1 year. My question is, can you please tell me how can I manage both dancing and academics, and how can I be good at both? Thank you.
I'm here to answer a wonderful question asked by 8-year-old Sanvi Athreya. How to succeed in both dance as well as academics? Sanvi, when you dance with full focus, and when you study with full focus. Try to do things that don't waste too much of your time. Try to use your time as nicely as you can. Instead of watching 7 hours of TV, watch 5 and use that time to either study or dance. And I'm sure you will be very successful in life.
My name is Arya. I am learning dance for past 2 months. My question is, can you please tell me who is Nataraja standing on? Why is there a fire around him? Why he is standing on only one leg? Thank you.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, Of many questions that the student asks about dance, and especially about the Lord of Dance, Nataraja, one of very interesting aspects is to understand the whole sculpture of Nataraja. I am so happy that one question that has come to me is of very interesting note, and I would love to explain you all about it. The question that has been asked to me, the first one is about Apasmara. Let me all tell you, all of you must, I'm sure, have observed the sculpture of Lord Nataraja. There is a small dwarf baby sleeping, down on which the Lord Nataraja is standing on one foot. Have you observed very closely that that's not a baby, but it's a dwarf demon called Apasmara. The Apasmara is also called as Mayalaga or Tridura Mayalaga, and he is representing an ignorance. Now, entire story of Apasmara is very interesting. If you observe very closely in a very clear picture, he also has a snake holding in his hand, which is what is his weapon. He comes out of the fire to attack on Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, to keep him suppressed, pressed on him and stood. So the right leg on his back, and then he raises another leg. Why did he do that? What does this Apasmara actually mean? What does he represent? Please remember, Apasmara is one demon who cannot be killed. He is immortal. What does this symbolize? This actually represents that every human, there cannot be killed of certain characters. What are those? It could be ignorance, it could be your ego, it could be the antagonism, or it could be your odium, it could be your repugnance, or it could be a rancor, it could be a revulsion. All of these negative elements that we all do have them. But they should be kept suppressed. A human cannot forego them. So he keeps them suppressed, and because the Apasmara is immortal, Lord Nataraja had to stand on him forever and raise the leg. And hence this represents that all the negative and bad elements amongst us should be kept suppressed. And the one left leg that is being raised discusses about the transcendence, about then the revelation, about then what is so called as the way to path to moksha, or the one that takes you upper to the world and experience what a bliss is. So one that keeps you is a negative, and this leads you to the positive world. So it's a cycle that goes within, and hence he has pressed on the right leg and lifted the left leg. This is as per representation as you see from the Cholas Nataraja, as seen in especially Chidambaram temple. Let me also tell you that there is reverse also possible, that the Lord Nataraja has actually raised the right leg and kept the left leg down, which as you see in Velliambalam or in the temple of Madurai. It is a very interesting story again, which you can cover in the next episode. The third question that has come to me is about what is this fire around Lord Nataraja. You see that the Nataraja is surrounded with a fire around him, right, in the cycle. They represent science. Let me tell you, the sculpture of Nataraja is just not art. It's one of the most astonishing sculpture across the world, but it is also science. It is physics, it is metaphysics, it is cosmos, and hence the dance of Lord Shiva is termed as cosmic dance. So what is this fire? It represents Kala. It represents the Kala Chakra. It is the time. It is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga, the time. And it is also the representation in the science language, if to discuss, then they represents the mass, time and space, which means in the tick tock of the clock that you see, the circular everything, we are all stuck in this time, and we live in this time and we go away in this time, and hence this chakra represents of the fire that we live the life within all of this. Another interesting fact is that the entire Nataraja fits correctly in Sri Chakra, which also represents that the entire cosmos, the Sri Chakra, the most powerful yantra, can be perfectly fit into Nataraja, and that is science, and that is art, and that is what we all perform, and that is dance, and that is Bharatanatyam and any other form that Lord Nataraja has blessed us with. I wish you all the best to understand many more wonderful concepts. Thank you so much for hearing me. Signing off, Dr. Vasant Kiran.
My name is Kushi. I'm learning dance from past 3 years. My question is, along with my school homework and playing with my friends, how much time should I practice dance? Thank you.
ಹಾಯ್ ಖುಷಿ. ಖುಷಿ ಆಯಿತು ನನಗೆ ನೀನು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿ. ಎಸ್, ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ನೀನು ಏನು ಕಲಿತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನೀ ಬರೀ ಅಡವುಗಳು ಕಲಿತಿದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ನೀನು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಡೈಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 15 ನಿಮಿಷ 15 to 20 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಡವುಗಳು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆದರೆ ನೀನು ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಅಲಾರಿ, ಪೂಜತಿ ಸ್ವರ, ದೇವರ ನಾಮ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ರೆ 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಅಡವುಗಳು ಮಾಡಿ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಐಟಮ್ ಆದರೂ ಅಲಾರಿ ಪೂಜತಿ ಸ್ವರ ಅಥವಾ ದೇವರ ನಾಮ ಜೊತೆ ಸ್ವರ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ನೃತ್ಯ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿನಯ 2 ಐಟಮ್ಮು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ನೀನು ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಟಿವಿನೂ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೂ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀಯಾ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಏನೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಅದು ಬೇಗ ಹೊರಟೋಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೀಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಗುರುಗಳು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಲಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೆಸರು ಮಾಡು, ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮಂಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೆಸರು ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಾ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ನ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸು. ಗುಡ್ ಲಕ್ ಖುಷಿ.
My name is Sanvi Ranji. I am learning Bharatanatyam from Sneha ma'am. My question is, what things can we learn from Bharatanatyam?
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ ರಾಮಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ನನಗೆ ಸಾನ್ವಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪುಟಾಣಿಯಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಬಹಳ ಆಳವಾದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬಂತು. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯಂ? I think this is such a deep and a layered question. It got me thinking. And I must admit, it's going to be very hard to answer this. I'm going to generalize it because I believe that this holds good for all the other art forms too. Dance at a physical level builds in fitness, resilience, tolerance, an attitude of working hard, confidence, and team spirit, and several more. Dance relies so heavily on several other allied art forms like painting, music, mythology, architecture, iconography, and several more. It builds in an understanding of all this. You become more aware of yourself and people around you. I think this is one of the most important aspects of training in arts because it makes you empathetic and humane towards yourself and everything and everybody around you. In times like these, I believe art is a great healer. She's like that constant companion, that friend who doesn't let go of your hand. She keeps you emotionally and mentally healthy. And I would say art is like a vast ocean filled with treasure. You dive deep down and pick what you want from it. I hope I've answered this question in a really simple way for Putani Sanvi to understand. Thank you so much. Namaskara.
Namaskara, I am Sanvi. I am learning Bharatanatyam for 6 months. When I can dance on stage.
So glad to know that you have started learning dance. There's no start and end time to learning dance. You can always learn dance. When I started, it took me nearly 2 years to learn the adavus. Then I started learning some small items. Then got on stage with my friends. After that, I nearly took 6 years of regular practice to get on stage as a solo dancer. Enjoy the journey, Sanvi. Have a good time learning.
Namaste. My name is Aisiri. I am 8 years old. Can Bharatanatyam be a foundation to learn other dance forms like ballet, etc.?
Namaste, I'm Deepa Bhatt. According to me, Bharatanatyam is a complete art form. It imparts discipline in one, which is the most important aspect to learn in any form of dance. It improves flexibility and stamina, which are again very much required for any type of dance. Bharatanatyam is a very good foundation as it introduces to many concepts like maintaining body posture, sharp physical movements, art of emoting, ability to understand rhythm to dance accordingly. If we compare various dance forms from various classical dances to Western dance, there is a lot of similarities which the child undergoes in the first few years of training. The basic postures of Aramandi, that is half sitting, and the Samapada, the standing straight, Bharamari, the various types of turns, are all present in the Western dance as well, and known by different names. That's all. Various theoretical concepts and to application of concepts while dancing improves the body coordination and memory and concentration. With these basics, a child can choose his or her form of dance. ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕಲ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಚೌಕಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರೋದು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅಡಿಪಾಯವಾಗಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಕಲಿಯೋದು ಸುಲಭವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Destination that we reach is almost the same by practicing any form of the dance or art forms. Just the path taken differs accordingly. Thank you.
Namaskara. My name is Akshara. I've been learning Bharatanatyam for 9 months. My question is, we know the great Rishi Bharata Muni wrote the Natya Shastra, but has this been modified or do we follow the same Bharatanatyam in today's Bharatanatyam too?
Namaskara. All the classical art forms have been based on Natya Shastra written by Bharata Muni. Yet they all look very, very different from each other. Just to give an analogy, if we consider Natya Shastra as a block of gold, then the gold can be broken and made into different jewelry. Example, a bangle, a necklace, a earpiece, anything. Though all these jewelry has come from the same block of gold, they all look different. Same way, all the classical dances are quite different from each other. I'm talking about the Kathak, Odissi, Kuchipudi, Bharatanatyam, Mohiniyattam, Satriya, all these. So if we come to Bharatanatyam, as everybody says, it is based on Natya Shastra. But over a period of time, depending on the place, a person or people, their culture, their tradition, the situation of that time, it has undergone many, many modifications. So what we currently do is definitely not exactly what it is in Natya Shastra. It has been modified several times, and what we do is completely different from what we did even 100 years ago, before Britishers. So, yeah, to answer your question, Akshara, though it has some elements of Natya Shastra, but it is not exactly same as it is written in Natya Shastra.
Namaskara, my name is Manyata and I am learning dance from past 4 years, and my question is, why should we dance Bharatanatyam in that particular costume and jewelry? Can't we dance in another get-up?
Hi Manyata, thank you for this very beautiful and very relevant question as to why we must perform Bharatanatyam wearing a particular costume or attire. Now, to put things in perspective, our ancient texts talk about Aharya component, one of the 4 components of Abhinaya, is playing an important role in the visual arts medium. For a performing arts medium such as ours, Have you ever been to a performance where a dancer or a performer walks on stage and you instinctively know what is the dance form they're going to perform and where that dance form belongs to? There is such a richness in the attire and such aesthetic value that it provides that it lifts the performer and the performance by itself. Having said that, for example, in Bharatanatyam itself, the attire that we wear, be it the pajama costume or the skirt costume, the big fan that is there always highlights and enhances the basic stance, which is the arm and leg position, and it also enhances the characteristic movements that we do in Bharatanatyam. This is the beauty of any attire that we have in any performing arts form. It enhances and adds to the aesthetic appeal of a particular dance form. So, although over time there might have been slight traditional or slight variations in how the costume has been, the overall approach to having to wear the costume has always persisted, because that traditionalism, along with the individualistic creative liberty that we could take as performers, has always enhanced the aesthetic appeal of the performance in itself. So, in your question, I would say, yes, it is very relevant and it is very important that we continue on this journey of keeping the traditionalism and vibrancy of our art form alive, although we can bring to it our own little changes which will aesthetically add and not diminish the value that it brings to that particular art form. I hope I have answered your question. Wishing you all a wonderful, wonderful, happy dance day, to many, many more years of dancing and enjoying this beautiful form that we call dance. Thank you. Bye.
Namaskara, my name is Prashasti Subhash and I am learning dance from past 10 months. And my question is, what would you suggest? Learning different types dance forms together, or mastering one dance form and then learning another? What would you suggest? Thank you.
Hello, Prashasti. Thank you so much for your question. It is a very important and valid question, of course. Learning another art form parallelly when you are pursuing one art form is definitely not wrong. And we also understand that, one lifetime is definitely not enough to master one particular topic. It can be across subjects. I'm not only talking about dance. But when it comes to dance now, I feel if you like Bollywood and Bharatanatyam, there's nothing wrong in learning both, because they both feed off each other. You don't need to worry about what came first, which form came first. When you look back at who brought dance into the world, and when I ask small children today who created dance, many children answer, "Ma'am, I created dance." And that is the power of self-belief that we all need, that our minds and bodies can accomplish. So always see the most beautiful aspects of Bharatanatyam that can fall into Bollywood, and Bollywood that can fall into Bharatanatyam. It's wrong to look at one form being greater than the other. So it's good to be in this journey to explore different forms, and personally, as we grow, understand what is it that we like in each of these. All of the forms, art forms in this world have something to offer. We just need to open our eyes and all our senses, in fact, to see what is it that we like and relate to. So go ahead, keep learning, never stop learning. That's the most beautiful gift that we have received. All the best, Prashasti.